definition of a bubble is no one fully understands it until it bursts.
People were making fortunes on the stock market, and then all of a sudden...
To help all of us understand better our American way of life.
Welcome to the edge of nowhere, where we delve into the black hole of our reality.
Hi, thanks for joining me. Today on the Edge of Nowhere, we're going to be discussing business. Specifically, where will business move into the future? Now, for a lot of businesses today, they operate around the principle of asymmetrical or imperfect information. What does it mean? It means if you buy a good, you know the price that you paid for it, but you sell it at some kind of markup. That difference between the price that you pay and the price that you sell allows you to make a profit margin. And that's around the asymmetrical information. Now, an example of this is an incredible movie called The Wolf of Wall Street.
4,000, that'd be 40,000 shares, John. Let me lock in that trade right now and get back to you with my secretary with an exact confirmation. Sound good, John? Great. Hey, John, thank you for your vote of confidence, and welcome to the Investors Center.
In the movie, Belfort starts to create an artificial supply-demand curve, where he creates artificial demand, and he then changes the supply, and that's where he makes his markup.
Artificial demand constitutes demand for something that, in the absence of exposure to the vehicle of creating demand, would not exist. It has controversial applications in microeconomics, pump and dump strategy, and advertising.
Smart short sellers are going to be able to time this and say, you know what, it's reached the peak of what the allowable capital is for all of these stocks together, and you can start really making a lot of money.
Sell into that higher inflated trading price, cash out, and make off with their profits, while the innocent investor is left holding large quantities of worthless stock.
Basically using nothing more than the force of persuasion.
A demand is usually seen as artificial when it increases consumer utility very inefficiently.
In the future where we're going to, not only will this be done instantaneously, but it'll be controlled by artificial intelligence. Because machines will be able to scour the internet. Think about today, whether it's purchasing something online. You go to Amazon, you may go to some other online store and you look at the prices.
I believe that if you can focus obsessively enough on customer experience, selection, ease of use, low prices, more information to make purchase decisions with, if you can give customers all that, plus great customer service, and with our toys and electronics, we have a 30-day return policy. If you can do all of that, then I think you have a good chance.
And essentially what you're doing is you're trying to say, well, let's use an algorithm that will compare prices that determines then what's the perfect supply-demand curve where I have the smallest amount of difference between this imperfect information. Essentially what you're trying to say is you're trying to say, well, how am I more informed versus less informed? Therefore, changing those supply-demand curves to make sure that the margins become slimmer, i.e. you get a better price. This asynchronous information causes problems around saying, well, what is the true price to pay? Because you could be buying something today and tomorrow it could be a different price, but not only that, you could be buying something today and the person next to you could be buying the same good at a different kind of price. The other part around business in the future is the questions around economies of scale, around buying huge amounts of quantities of goods and services and then bundling those things. Already today, we've got different kinds of buying clubs where you, along with a number of different people who you may or may not know, decide to buy in bulk and then reduce the kind of pricing. If you have an algorithm that allows you to do that en masse, you start to change the pricing dynamics, and companies need to be very concerned about this because fundamentally, if you buy in bulk, it'll start changing their pricing paradigms. What that then means is there's a great gap in the market today that we can start seeing with anonymous buyers bundling together, buying a huge and a large number and volume of stuff to then get a cost advantage that companies may not enjoy. So today we spoke around business and some of the challenges around imperfect information and asymmetric information that allows you to create new kinds of margins and new kinds of profit margins for yourself, or to find ways where you can gain an advantage by amalgamating supply and demand. I hope you really enjoyed that. Please join us on our next episode as we journey to the edge of nowhere.
Goodbye. I will see you online.